Hey, what's up, truckers and future truckers? It's your boy Marcellus, and welcome to Truck and Truth Reactions. Now, y'all know I'm always on YouTube and I'm checking out these trucking videos, and sometimes I see stuff that I just have to speak on. So, from here on out, I'll be bringing you my reactions, breaking down what's real, exposing what's cap, and throwing in some laughs along the way. Now, if you're new here, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with another driver. And most importantly, drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you agree, disagree, or if you've been through something similar yourself. All right, so let's get into it. Hey, what's up, truckers and future truckers? It's your boy Marcellus, and welcome to the Truck and Truth Reactions. Now, today we're reacting to a video from the Living Freed channel. My guy Tyler Freed, he said he built a 6-truck fleet debt-free. Now, he's saying that some people saying that it's cap, that he's faking, and other people are saying that he's blessed. So we're going to check this video out, see what Tyler has to say about how he built his fleet. And remember, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, and share this video with a trucker that needs to hear this message, all right? Let's get into this video real quick.
What is going on YouTube? Welcome to the Living Freed channel. My name is Tyler Freed, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about whether or not I think my fleet is going to fail. Do I think I'm going to lose all my money in the trucking business? So for those of you that are new to the channel and you haven't been watching me you haven't been watching me very long, I became an owner-operator last May, and I became an owner-operator. I drove as an owner-operator until about February of this year, and then I decided to buy my second truck. And after I bought my second truck in February, and once I got good at recruiting, hiring, and managing a truck that I'm not driving, I decided to put all my money, pretty much all my money, into my own trucking business, my own fleet.
All right, now, you see, I respect this, right? Because he didn't just wake up one day deciding that he wanted to be a fleet owner, all right? He actually got behind the wheel first. And that's what I tell a lot of people. Before you just decide to throw someone in a truck, get behind the wheel first and see what it's like to be a trucker. I mean, you can't train someone to do something that you don't know how to do yourself. This is how you learn the game for real. You get in there and you drive the truck yourself. Too many people, they want to have 6 trucks before they can even book their first load. And, that's just like wanting 6 girlfriends when you can't even afford one dinner.
And so I went out and I bought 3 more trucks. I got to 5. So I had one that I was driving, and I had the first one that I bought that I wasn't driving. So I had 2, and then I bought 3 more. I had enough money to buy 3 more. And so I got to 5. And then over the course of that time between February and now, we're pretty much approaching August right now. I, have saved up enough money to buy the 6th one. And so I just recently bought the 6th one. And so that's where I'm at. And why do I say all that? Look, I'm just telling y'all where I'm at. This channel has been me documenting my journey from, I pretty much started this channel when I was a trainer at Millis. That's really, and that was a few years ago now, almost 3.5, 4 years ago now, it seems like. But that's where my channel, I really started to post consistently. and started to get some actual views and became monetized and all that. And people have seen my journey. The ones that have watched me for a really long time see where I started, and that's where I'm at now. So, I've got 6 trucks, are all leased on to a carrier. So I do not have my own authority. And some people want to hate on that. And I'm going to get into that. And why am I making this video? Well, because some people have said that, because you put all your money into your own business,
Now, that's a bold move because, like I said, people would have pocketed that cash. This man flipped all his money back into the business. Now, that's discipline, all right? But let's be real, that's also a risk, all right? You better have a plan when you expand that fast. And in regards to having your own authority, I mean, it sounds like he had this mapped out already. Sounds like he's already working for a company under their authority. And to take on your own authority, it just be more responsibility. So to me, it sounds like Tyler approached this trucking game from a different angle. Seems like he's leased onto a company and he just bought more trucks and leased those trucks onto the company, but just put drivers in those seats. That's a smart move, all right? That's smart.
you are going to fail. You're going to go down from here, right? And then I've had another person say that they don't even think I'm an owner operator. They don't think that I own a fleet, that I have no employees. They haven't seen my trucks. They haven't seen these drivers. So all of this is made up just so I can talk about stuff on YouTube. So I'm going to
All right. I mean, hey, what do you guys think so far? I mean, do you think this man is lying or you think he's telling the truth? I mean, because a lot of people are, like they say, doing it for the gram, they're doing it for YouTube, they're doing it for views, they're doing it for likes. So is he really a owner of 6 trucks? I mean, we'll never know until he produced those trucks and show us. But he doesn't seem like one that's going to expose all his business. So let's hear what else Tyler has to say.
respond to that. And look, I'm going to have fun with it because look, as this channel grows, I understand there's going to be people that hate on me. There's going to be people that think I'm making all this up. There's going to be people that think that I'm going to fail. There's going to be haters. And that just goes with the territory.
That's right. It goes with the territory. I mean, you always going to have haters. Even when I first started my trucking company, I had people saying things, little slick comments, little slick remarks, like, why you want to do that? Why you want to get into trucking? You don't know nothing about trucking. You're a sales guy. Why don't you stick to sales? But I had my own plan, So if you got people that was telling you that when you first got started with your trucking business, drop a comment below. Let me hear some of the things that you were told, by people that were pretty much hating on you. They didn't want to see you, get your trucking business started.
And look, I pay no attention to those people. The reason I'm making this video is because it's important for you, my viewers, the people who really support me. It's important to me, and it's important for you to it's important for me for you to understand what I'm about to say at the end of the video. But just understand something. Look, no matter what you try to do in life, if you're trying to better yourself at anything, I mean, it could be health, wealth, spiritual health, all kinds of different things, all different categories of life. If you're trying to better yourself, you're going to have people that don't want you to succeed. You're going to have people.
And he's right about that. No matter what it is. That's why, like they say, you should keep a lot of things to yourself. I know sometimes we get anxious. We got this plan, we want to share it with someone, family, friends. But I mean, I'm telling you, man, people just be hating. So he's right about that. Just keep a lot of things to yourself when you're out here in these streets making these moves. All right.
People that really are wishing and hoping, they're not going to say it outright, but they're hoping you fail because they are jealous of you. They are envious of you. And envy and jealousy is one of the 7 deadly sins.
That's right. Envy and jealousy is definitely one of the deadly 7 sins. Okay. And I'm sure a lot of you in this trucking business, you experienced that, or like I said, it might have been with something other than trucking. Whatever it is, just drop the comment below. Let's talk about it. Let's see what type of mission that you were on, and people were just hating on you, and saying negative things, trying to get you to stop from pursuing your goals.
Remember that if you're that type of person watching this video, um, you know, it's not going to be a good life for you, man, because you have a bitter attitude. You have hatred towards other people. And the people that comment saying, man, you're going to fail, you're going to go downward, or you're lying about all this, all of you are real bitter. And you're just upset that you're watching someone have more success than you. That's all it is. And look, I know I'm not the most successful person in the world. I don't think I'm better than anybody at all. Just to be clear, I'm very blessed to be in this position. I truly believe, yeah, I've put in the work for the last 7 years. I've been in trucking for 7 years. A lot of people don't realize, like, when they watch my videos, I've been in trucking for 7 years. Okay. I started out as a company driver. I drove company for like 5.5 years. Well, actually almost 6 years, about 5.5 to 6 years. I drove company, and man, I've been over the road the whole time. I'm not going to lie. Like, I have missed out on a lot of things in life.
Now that's going to happen. When you're over that road, you're chasing them lows, chasing them dollars. You're definitely going to miss out on a lot of things. And I believe he's about to go deeper into that. Just giving examples of some of the things that you missed. Me being on the road when I was over the road truck driver, I missed out on a lot of things. Family events, kids basketball games, kids football games. But hey, that's the life of a trucker. I had to make that sacrifice because I had a bigger plan
to get to this point. I have not bought things that I could have bought, new cars, a house that I own, all that I.
That's another thing as well. All right. A lot of the materialistic things like the cars, the designer clothes, things like that. Those are things that you're going to have to just delay. You're going to have to put that to the side. And I'm glad he brought that up. He talks about that because it seems like if he didn't do that, he wouldn't be in the position that he's in today. He wouldn't be able to save that money up and buy all these trucks that he's talking about he owned.
Could have done all that. And the reason I didn't is because I had a goal when I got into trucking is I want to start my own business. I want to build my own company. And at some point, I want that company to be worth so much money in the future that I could sell it and pretty much retire off of selling that company. That's been my goal since I got in. So,
hey, and that's the American way. I mean, that's what a lot of people do. They start a company, they build it up, they get it cash flowing, all right, and then they sell it off to another investor or another trucking company, whatever the case may be, whatever type of business that you own. You build the business up, all right, you get it cash flowing, okay, you get it in the green, and then you sell the business and you take that money and you do something else with it.
When I got in, I knew, okay, in order to do that, I've got to have a lot of money to start. Number one, I didn't just want to save up and buy a truck and just have one.
All right, let's talk about that too, because we all know the big thing out there on the internet is how you pay that $5,000 to get into the trucking game. Well, I disagree. I think you need more money, and I'm sure he's going to pretty much say the same thing because I believe Tyler said he bought all his trucks cash. So you couldn't do that with $5,000.
Hey, real quick. Ever since I scaled my fleet, I've been using Gusto for payroll, and it's been a game changer. It makes paying drivers and contractors super simple, keeps all the tax stuff handled automatically, and even helps with benefits when you're ready to grow your team. If you're running a business, trust me, you don't want payroll to be a headache. I'll drop the link in the description so you can get started with Gusto today. Now back to the video.
Truck. So what I did was I got in, I started with Millis Transfer, and I drove for them for about 3.5 years. After about 1.5 years, I became a trainer and I started making really good money. The first 1.5 to 2 years, I think the most money I made solo with them was like 80,000. But the first year I made like 65, second year was like 80. But then I started training and I was making owner operator money training at Millis because you I got paid on all the miles me and my students did. And, we were getting 4 and 5,000 miles a week. And also, too, Millis paid like an extra 10 to 12 cents a mile on top of your base rate. And so that's where my income really started to jump. And when I was training, man, I was putting away way more than 50 to 60% of my income. That's what I started doing.
Wow. Did you hear that, guys? This man said he was putting away 50 to 60% of his income every week because he wanted to start his trucking business and he wanted to have a fleet eventually. 50 to 60%. Drop a comment below. Let me know how much you put aside if you want to share that information. Drop a comment below. Let me know how much you started with when you got into the trucking business. Okay. Did you get a loan? Did you use your own money? Did you do the $5,000 play? I mean, drop a comment below. Let's talk about it.
When I first started in trucking, I started saving 50 to 60% of every paycheck I got. I was doing that. I was living very frugal. Then I started training and I was able to put away a lot more than that, like I said. And then, I decided to quit training after about a year and a half. And I went over to Crete Carrier. And the reason I did that is because Crete was paying the same rate I was getting as a trainer as a solo. So I'm like, okay, I don't really want to train forever, and I see an opportunity to go get some really good pay for and be solo. And so also too, I kind of wanted to switch it up because Millis, they didn't go all 48 states. They pretty much stayed east of I-35. I mean, you would go to Denver sometimes, but it was like very rare you would go out to Colorado. So I wanted to see the rest of the country. And also too, I knew that Crete had an owner operator division, which I'm going to get into that. But, so they had more opportunities for what I wanted to do. Because after about 3 years, I had a lot of money saved up. And I'm like, okay, I'm not ready to pull the trigger yet. I want to just find a job where I can see all 48 states. And, also I don't have to train anymore. I could still make, 6 figures a year. And so I went over to Crete and I drove for them for about 2 years. And
all right. So it seemed like, Tyler had, he knew exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to travel. He wanted to see the world. At the same time, he was stacking his money up. Although the opportunity was there to go owner operator, it seemed like he didn't just jump out the window. I guess he wanted to save up some more money, but let's see what else he has to say.
And then I finally decided to pull the trigger. And by that time, like I said, I had been saving 50, 60% of my income the whole time for the first 5.5 to 6 years.
Now that's discipline right there. Once again, 50 to 60% of your income for 5 years straight. Okay. Now, obviously, I don't hear Tyler mention anything about being in a relationship or any kids. So, I mean, it seems like he's just taking care of himself. So, if that's the case, when you're just taking care of yourself, I mean, you could do things like that, delay your gratification and, just put off a lot of things that you want to do and, focus on your business and your goals. So, 50 to 60%. Okay.
I had been investing that money in a low cost index fund.
Ah, so here it is. There you go. Tyler's not dumb. All right. Tyler's a smart kid. I could tell. He was taking that money and investing in it into a index fund. He's putting it in stocks. All right. And that's what I tell a lot of people to do while you're making this money in trucking. Don't take that money and just blow it. You take that money and you invest. You buy assets. Okay.
And that index fund has averaged 10 to 11% compounded annually over the last 5.5, 6 years. And so then I decided last year, like I said, to buy a truck and become an owner operator. I had enough money to buy a few trucks. I did already. When I first started, I had enough money to buy about 4 trucks and have emergency funds for them. But
wow, Tyler was really putting that money away, man. He said he had enough money to buy about 4 or 5 trucks, plus have some money on the side for emergency. So Tyler was over there sitting on that bag, man.
I didn't do that. I didn't want to just go out and, all right, I'm going to go buy, 4 or 5 trucks. I'm not going to do that. Why? Because I need to learn how to be an owner operator. So
Wow, you hear that? He need to learn how to be an owner operator. So before he hopped out the window and bought all those trucks, he wanted to learn how to do the job himself. Okay. He didn't just say, hey, I have this money. Let me go buy a bunch of trucks and I could be cool telling everybody, yeah, I got 5, 6, 7 trucks. But he, not even knowing the business. So Tyler did the right thing. He learned the business. He saved his money. He learned the business. And then he made his investments.
I decided, no, I'm going to buy a truck, lease onto Crete, do it for a year, and prove to myself that I can have success. So I bought that truck. I had no debt. I had an emergency fund for it. And I drove with Crete for a year to learn how to be an owner operator. But after I didn't wait an entire year, but I pretty much drove. It was like May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. So about 10 months, 10 months before I bought my second truck. And that whole time, I mean, whenever I became an owner op, of course, my income went up quite a bit compared to being a company driver. And all that extra money, I kept saving what I was saving as a company driver and then some. So I was able to save up in that first year for that second truck. And like I said, to begin with, I already had enough money to buy like 4 trucks. But I was like, no, I'm gonna use this one truck I own, learn how to be an owner op, like I said, and save up to buy that second truck with pure organic growth. Organic growth meaning money.
Now that's a smart move right there. That's what a lot of people fail to realize as well. You start with one truck, you learn the business, all right? And then once you learn the business and you start to make profit from that truck, that's when you go out and buy your second truck. You let the first truck buy the second truck buy the third truck, and so on and so on. And it pretty much sounds like this is the plan that he used.
Money I made from being an owner operator. And I did. I lived on, beans and rice. I was living frugal. I didn't change my lifestyle when I became an owner op so that I could buy that second truck. And so I bought it in February, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to start with one. I'm going to buy this truck. I'm going to recruit. I'm going to hire this person. And if it goes well and if it's profitable, then I'll expand. Then I'll put my money into a real expansion. And that's what happened. I bought the truck. The first driver I hired, turned out to be a really good driver. There's no issues. I mean, me and him talk every day. He's probably watching this video. And it turned out to be really good. And I'm like, okay, cool. I waited like about a month or so with him driving before I bought the third and fourth and fifth truck. And, but that's what I did, and
All right, so Tyler did it the right way. Once again, this is my verdict. I mean, Tyler sounds like he's the real deal. He moves smart. He reinvested his money. He treated his drivers right. All right, he was able to get one driver, kept that driver with him for a while. All right, then he went out and got more drivers, more trucks, and it seemed like whether you believe him or not, he's showing what's possible when you do have a plan. All right, now if you enjoyed this reaction so far in this video, I want you to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and also check out my free webinar. If you're ready to build your own trucking business the right way, I'm going to leave a link in the description. And if you want to hear what Tyler has to say about mindset and faith, then make sure that you're subscribed to the channel because that's coming in part 2. For now, just stay safe on the road and keep grinding, and then I'll see you on the next video. We'll talk about the mindset and the faith from the viewpoint of Tyler Freed.